In this video, we're going to talk about basic chord technique and also inversions. Now, for chords, what you want to do is preserve that curvature to your fingers. Sometimes you'll need to shift your wrist either to the right or to the left depending on the shape of the chord. For instance, if you're playing a C dominant 7th chord or C7 chord, do you see how my pinky has to go up to the B flat here? So instead of playing it straight on, you'll tilt your hand this way. And it's best if you're working with a teacher to ask your teacher about this, or if you're learning on your own, to try out different gestures with your wrist and fingers and find the right angle for your particular hand size. There's no one rule to this. It really is an individual type of feeling. So, for instance, with the C major chord, just the basic root position C major chord, we might want to have that curved hand in the right hand and drop the wrist down and have the preserving the curvature in the fingers and play all the way down to the key bed, so you feel the bottom of the keys, whether it's a keyboard or a piano that you're playing on. So it will sound and feel like this. Then lift your hand up and drop it down again. And you want to avoid one finger kind of being sluggish and not pressing the keys down. That's a very common improper technique for people just beginning to play. So you want to, from the beginning of your studies, work on having an evenness for the chords, like that. In the left hand, it would be similar. We'll have the curvature here, and then we'll drop the hand using from the wrist a little bit of flexibility. Now, as you advance and play more complicated pieces, you might want to tilt and angle your hand to create different voicings for the chords. And what this means is that you will bring out certain notes over other notes. And this is especially true when you want to bring out the melody in the top note of a chord. For instance, if you want to bring that A out in a kind of F chord, an F second inversion chord, what you'll do is lean into that A with a stiff 5th finger and angle your wrist and hand over to the side. Rather than flat, you'll angle it this way. If you wanted to bring out the B flat here, if this C7 chord, you would do something similar. You would angle your hand towards that B flat and play a little lighter with these two notes, the C and the G. This is an example where I'm bringing out the top note, B flat, A, G. The next thing I'd like to talk about are inversions. And inversions are a wonderful feature of piano music and music in general. And an inversion is really just a chord played where the lowest note is not the root. So if we look at our C major chord, we have the notes C, E, and G. This is one of the most common forms of any chords, the C major chord. And this is in root position, meaning that C, the main note of the chord, is in the bass. Now we could rearrange things so we played the E in the bass, the G in the middle, and the C on top. And this would be called first inversion because the E, the second note of the chord, is in the bass, or the lowest note. Now we have one more inversion for this C major chord, which is with G in the bass, and this is called second inversion, and it looks and sounds like this: G, C, and E. And if we play these chords in a sequence, going from root position to first inversion to second inversion and then to root an octave higher, it sounds like this. And you might have noticed that I dropped my wrist and also kept curvature in my fingers when I did that. Now, I'd like to play a few other inversions for you of major chords, and I'd like you to listen and look to hear and see the similarities in sounds especially. Even though we're going to be playing different keys on the piano, the sounds will be similar. Let me play one more time the C major in root position and inversions. Oops, sorry, let me try that again. Now here's the G major root position chord and inversions. And here's the D major root position chord and inversions. Did you hear the similarity among those three?